together. So yes, in the bloody desert.
What is... Fair enough. Maybe there's a trick or two I could show you, but trust me, they don't come cheap. Well then.
Trust in this lost promise and stay.
Huh? Hey, want something to drink? Sure. Take care.
Marched up, blue banners in the sky and teardrops. We're running from a rise, yet she fought. If only I believe time will bring.
Where's this supposed to lead us? We only have room for so many people.
Sad, sad, sad. Bloody stuff is everywhere. Ah, just make no trouble and you'll be alright.
Not his embrace. It's dark and wet. Close to the sky.
After all these centuries.
Yeah. As the then that'll ready. Just sitting there. And hope things settle. So.
Well, there comes a point you just have to live with it.
Greetings. Do you need a potion to refresh your stamina? Or are you a user of the arcane arts? Sure, take a look. Walk blessed. Hungry for books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path-abiding magic.
Walk blessed.
Can I help you?
Yeah? What do you want?
Apples, dates, bananas, refreshing fruit.
No, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick. Walk blessed.
From this day on, there's
Rena Shalom, my sir. Are you look?
Midnight. Between cobblestone and...
Is it important?
Yes, yes, of course.
Him of the Desert King.
Oh my, now I've seen this face, so yes, hooray! What can I do for you today? My wares it is you want to see. I promise you, they'll bring you glee. Oh my, now who is this? To see you here fills me with bliss. And I can tell just from your eyes, I've seen this face. My wares it is you want to see. I promise you, they'll bring you glee.
My friend, certainly. Just take your time. Safe travels. Certainly. Just take your time. Take care.
Yes? What are you doing here?
Monsieur?
What blessed, my sir?
Between darkness. Lights.
What is it? Fair enough. Maybe there's a trick or two I could show you, but trust me, they don't come cheap. Well then. Bloody steel crabs.
Saira, good to see you. I heard about what happened on Half Moon Island. It's a wonder you and that mercenary made it back alive. But war, it just seems so unreal. How has it come to this? Now we not only have to fight these High Ones, but also some fanatic who thinks he knows best? I know you mean that as a joke, but I'm afraid it's not too far from the truth. Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? Why are we so eager to be at each other's throats? You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually care. So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless. As if we all know that if we keep going like this, we're headed for a catastrophe. But instead of changing course, we just stand by and watch. Do you know the feeling? So, whenever I think about it, I find it so hard not to get angry. Take all those upper city snobs with their colorful garments and exotic perfumes. They could put all that money to such good use if only they wanted to, but no, they don't, because they just don't give a damn about the poor. Sometimes I imagine going down there, grabbing one of them by the collar and dragging them down into the Undercity, and there I'd force them to see, just for once. But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. Who fights against poverty if he's never suffered from it? No, it's not. It should be what everyone does. And once again, you've had to listen to another deluge of my whining. I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Saira, I have to ask you something. You said these things to me. Why? No, but I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm not made for things like that. I've never felt the need for them, and honestly, I think it's dangerous. At least for me. No, never. Because you know a lot about me, Saira, and I appreciate our contact, which is the only reason I just told you all of this. So please, respect my wishes. Let's leave it at that for now. We've still got a lot to do. The first of Quarak's ships will reach shore soon, and we have to be prepared.
Well, well, if it isn't the prodigy. I've heard so much about them.
shit. I have to remember that.
Walk blessed.
But that's ridiculous. We have to at least try to negotiate.
You know his demands. There's no basis for negotiation.
He has not seen what we have seen. The writings, the memories of the Prophet. If he just realized...
Taranor Korek would rather throw away his comb that had been a mistake. Believe me, I know him.
I am sure the Grand Master has a solution ready. After all, he was the one who dismissed Korek's attempts to negotiate so swiftly.
First we wait for the group's return, then we will see.
But it's been a week.
My dams, my sirs.
Shit. What took you so long? And where is Constantine?
That's a long story.
And those were his final words? I can't believe it.
Simply another victim of the High Ones. If we do not activate the beacon soon, he won't be the last.
Oh, right. The beacon. If it's activated, we'll simply glow the red madness away, won't we? Or maybe we could, for once in all this, do something that actually makes sense, and focus our resources on finding an alchemistical or thaumaturgical solution to this problem, rather than trusting in a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, by the Prophet's ass, won't you just shut up for a minute? All day long you do nothing but babble, getting on our nerves, and nothing you ever say gets any closer to a fucking solution. So why don't you just shove off to one of the bathhouses? Go torture the washerwomen with your never-ending lamentations. That would be helpful for a change.
You will take that back.
Will I? Come here and make me. I'd be delighted.
Blasphemy!
Guard your
This
tongue,
is blasphemy!
wild mage, or...
Or what? Are you gonna kill me? That's what you do best, you and your fucking order.
Silence! You are angry, Lishari Pegast, and I understand why. But in the moment you let that anger destroy this alliance, Firespark's sacrifice will have been in vain. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
No. No, it isn't.
Good. I am tired of this endless bickering. We have a responsibility, and we will fulfill it.
Well said, Oranthiel. And how exactly do you think we are going to do that? Without the sources, the beacon is as worthless as a heap of rusty iron.
The chroniclers are on it, and they will find the answer. Novice, tell Commander Aaron to join us. We need to plan the defense of the land. You, Prophet, will come to me as soon as you have recovered. Now, let us get to work.
Please, Tilo, Jorik is right. A war with Nerim? This is madness.
I know that it is going to be tough.
The sun be praised, you've made it.
The beacon is all
Constantine.
Yes,
He didn't deserve this.
The beacon.
It's just not fair.
We don't even know what this thing does, let alone if it will work. If you start a war only because of that damn machine, it means putting the lives of thousands at risk, only because of some vague...
Then none of us are strong enough.
This is ludicrous,
Yeah,
but it's
Constantine wasn't
entirely
exactly the most approachable fellow, but he was a damn skilled mate.
Yes,
I have to talk to you as soon as possible. It's about the seal in that letter we found on the mercenaries in Old Rashengrad. I believe I'm onto something. Their client is from Enderal. From Ark, to be more precise. Let's not talk here, though. Meet me in the Dancing Nomad. I'll be in the first room upstairs, right at the end of the staircase.
Sacrifices.
And hurry.
It's about your damn pride, Tilo. Nothing else.
Well, why do you think? Come to the Dancing Nomad after you've spoken. See you there.
Malfest's blessings.
Huh. You're the one they call the Prophet.
aren't you? Congratulations. On past the trial, I guess.
Irrelevant. This madman, Koarek. He has completely reshuffled the cards. Now we not only have to deal with the High Ones, but also with him and his fanatics. However, there's also good news. You have probably seen it already. Physically, yes. And we also know how it works now, and how it can put an end to the cycle. It is easier than we thought. The beacon was constructed for one thing, to destroy the High Ones. Once reconstructed, infused with energy and activated, lit, as the Pyreans called it, it can banish the High Ones from this plane of existence. Immaterial, indeed. Essentially, they can be compared to the cold or to shadows. Omnipresent elements, yet we cannot touch them. Energy, if you will. However, there is a counterpart to each energy. Cold and fire, shadow and light. The High Ones and the beacon. Yes. Imagine a torch driving away the darkness in the moment it is ignited. This is what the beacon can do, except that the banishing will be permanent. Yes, as I said, it needs to be infused with energy before it can be lit. I take it you have noticed the 3 sockets on its base. They are what it draws its power from. Once they are filled, the beacon can be ignited and the High Ones will be undone, once and for all. At least, if the old writings are true. The only thing left for us to find out is what these energy sources are. But we are close. Give the Arcanists some more time and I will let you know if there's any news. In the meantime, get equipped accordingly. Some of the Neremes have landed already, and outbreaks of the Red Madness become more and more frequent as we speak. No, there are not enough, and we must keep the few there are in our possession, in case anything unexpected should happen. The only thing we can do to stop the madness is to destroy the High Ones as soon as possible. What? Really? That's interesting. Provided this is true, that means that the emissaries aren't just people who fight the cleansing. They are people who fight for it too. And that also means that whoever granted us our powers and our purpose isn't an enemy of the High Ones, but a neutral party. Possibly. But we will find out all about that once we've taken care of the High Ones. Now, with the Neremes against us too, there's only one thing that matters. Resolve. We must not hesitate and allow anything to delay the lighting of the beacon any further. I beg your pardon. What? And the same goes for me? That's ridiculous. They wanted to deceive you, to sow discord. I saw the threat the cleansing posed before anyone else did. And without me, we would have never come that far. Something changed inside me since I fled from my prison. I feel it. And it is the same thing that made you a part of all this. Now, enough of this. Yes? Well, it's only fair to tell you. You've always been honest to me, so I will do the same. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Thousand Fires? Between 8,192 and 8,202, there was an underground movement in Kira called the Red Half Moon. They were brought into being by a group of intellectuals and philosophers who, under all the freedom of thought Saldrine granted them, started questioning the reign of the Golden Queen, and thus the Lightborn themselves. Saldrine saw himself as the god of knowledge, and accordingly he reigned his country. In Kira, no opinion is forbidden, which is why it is home to countless magic schools and universities, where people do nothing but discuss the reason for being all day long. An appealing thought if you hear it for the first time, but a cunning people isn't easy to reign. There have been more revolts and riots in Kira than bones in a graveyard, and the Red Half Moon was the worst of them. Correct, just as my son did. But other than him, they fought like cowards. Terror, dust crystals planted in the marketplaces, and assassinations, you name it. If they killed innocents, they blamed the Golden Queen, and if they killed her soldiers, they celebrated themselves as liberators. However, they never succeeded in putting her down, and neither did she in destroying them, which is why the court turned to the Lightborn for help. A division of the Holy Order led by me, a young keeper of barely 30 winters. None to be taken seriously. You know, not everywhere is the Order as present as here on Enderal, or as it once was on Narim. In Kira, we were ridiculed. I saw the Kiranian keepers who served the Golden Queen. A bunch of decadent gluttons who had dedicated themselves to the court's banquets rather than to the will of the gods. They were pathetic. A moon after our arrival, we received an anonymous tip on where one of the half-moon spaces was supposed to be located, in a small coastal village. As we entered it, we were greeted by the township's elders, and the villagers themselves had gathered behind them. You should have seen how they stared at us, as if we were plunderers. I should have seen by then that something was wrong. Yes, but if there was one thing the Red Half Moon was good at, it was sowing lies. According to them, we were nothing but butchers who executed everyone unable to recite the Revelation word for word. That's what they wanted us to think, and they did a good job at that. A veiled person here, an archer on the rooftops there. I got nervous, because villagers are not, they bested us in numbers, and they had kettled us. Then a man seemed to charge at us, and I gave the order to draw weapons. It was just the spark they needed. No, not a fight. A massacre. The villagers had pitchforks and shepherd staffs, and we had shadow steel swords. let alone the fact that we were trained warriors. I realized that I had made a mistake a split second after it started, but it was too late by then. My men, they slaughtered them all, like pigs. At the end of the day, 300 people were dead, and only 10 of them were keepers. Have you ever been in a big battle? Even if my men would have stopped, the villagers were blinded with rage and panic. No. From the moment I gave the order, it was too late. Well, what better proof of the Lightborn's cruelty is there than a division of keepers who, out of pure wickedness, slaughtered an entire village, women and children included. If the people had already distrusted us before that, that distrust had turned into hatred, and nothing could have changed that, not even the Golden Queen's heralds. We set sail back to Enderal a week later. 2 years after that, the Red Half-Moon destroyed itself due to infighting. Ironic, isn't it? Maybe. The Lightborn and the Grandmaster back at that time showed the compassion I wouldn't grant myself. But I learned one thing, and that is that I will never again let fears about my own life influence my decisions. What happened in Kira was the consequence of my own cowardice, and my unwillingness to give my life for a just cause. That will never happen again.
Did you find it?
Yes, here. But... Be careful, okay? Magister Ragon will have us flayed alive if you lose it.
I will.
You're a foreigner, aren't you? I wish I'd have crossed the sea once, or seen Kira, the Grand Bazaar.
Huh? What do you want?
Prophet, are you in there? Kiraj, what? Why? What have you done? Watch your tongue, Shari. Be glad that the blood is already dry, or else you'd be nothing but a pile of bones by now. Forgive me. I just can't believe it. Anyone but Lashari? Yes, I know, Nea. But she was a good woman. We both know that we're not involved in this. So please tell me why you and Lashari wanted to meet up here? Were the two of you close? It's been a while since there was a man at Lashari's side. I see. But who has killed her then? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe the murderer has left a clue. We have to search. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. Yes, you do that. But come back to the temple as soon as you're finished, alright? The Archmagister has found something out about those sources we need for the beacon, even though we paid a high price for it.
Oh well.
I need that new herbal essence for my hair.
Some people just don't.
Huh?
Yes, of course you'd say that.
Just where did I put it? Yeah, as if.
You. Do you need something?
Warren Nerem,
I need some time for myself.
Yes. What the fuck is wrong with this world?
Hello.
Whoop, let's...
Oh, hey.
Oh, you're here. I thought you were in the city.
No,
What?
The Archmagister ordered me back. It feels good to be here, to be honest. The funerals. I could have done without them, though.
I don't doubt that. The prodigy, huh?
If it isn't the Prophet, what's wrong? You look troubled.
I didn't think I would
I
ever
don't think
say
the Red
this,
Madness
but
cares much
thank
about
you.
that.
I know.
Probably not, no.
Shah Rim has already told me. I hardly knew her, but it's horrible. Different ideologies or not, she was a fine young mage, and her knowledge of the Pyreans was impressive. We need to find the ones who did this, and fast. But you probably already know that. Thank Malphus we just had a breakthrough with the beacon.
How can one tell someone else is afflicted?
Why? Scared you've caught it, are you?
That is not funny. You know,
At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in Old Dothugrad, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine.
That's not what I mean.
This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls, old jewels, sometimes known as Blackstones. They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Arktwind. They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like. No, at least not with any known magic. And that's what's so strange about it. Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Katua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her. Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me. Not quite.
Those who owned a pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell him your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course. We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes. Correct. The pearl's magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence. That's what we thought too, but it seems we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak.
One day.
That's a question I've been asking myself since we first learned of the cycle. Who knows? Maybe they like for us to suffer. Or maybe they see us as we see ants, whose lives simply mean nothing. Or maybe the very concept of intentions is meaningless to them. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power. Hello.
Which is why you will find them for us. No, because we know what we are dealing with. Unlike those who fell victim to the stones. Imagine them as a powerful, magical sword. A fool won't know how to wield it and will eventually cut himself with it. A seasoned warrior, however, can... Which doesn't mean, however, that we will be careless. What we need is their energy, and once we have transferred that to the beacon, their shells will be useless to the High Ones. Correct. That's right. But we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
And hurry. I take it you have already noticed this, but Nerimi's troops are roaming our land and building outposts, and the Red Madness is also getting worse as we speak. Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
A machine that can banish these High Ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, that just might work.
Move along.
Hymn of the Desert King. Dark as the sun, light as the night. Yes? What are you doing?
Yes?
So many strange faces. Well,
Yes?
Well, there comes a point. Just have to live with it.
Malphus bless. You name it, I got it.
Huh. You're not from around here, are you? I know that accent. Move along.
Now, come on. Just a little to the left and... Blasted blazes! You are really starting to annoy me, you know that? Oh, now look at that. A visitor. Great. Just great. What do you want? Are you here because of the placard? Oh, great. And here I thought someone had actually read it. But no, if it isn't about mine song and fair ladies, people just don't care. I'm looking for a helping hand, an adventurer. Someone willing to take over a very important task for Horst and me. Yes, Horst. And no, he is not my imaginary friend, but this gorgeous example of Enderalian metallurgy and starling ingeniousness right beside me. My personal centurion, and soon my new body. Yes, steel instead of flesh, energy instead of blood. Away with this useless shell and its pathetic fugacity. In Horst's body, I will live on forever. Ah, you wouldn't understand this even if you'd been my apprentice for 15 years. If it helps you, just imagine that I transfer my consciousness, my soul, into Horst's body. And by doing this, I become him. Apotheosis, that's what the scholars from Kyra call it. Man's ascent to something higher. A deity, you could say. The only logical response to current events, by the way. Ah, red madness, death of the Lightborn. You don't need to be one of those keepers to see something is happening in this world. It's going south, and other than the Holy Order and his new Nehramese magically gifted pals I am no friend of, trying to pray away such threats, we need to change humanity. The apotheosis, the overcoming of our fleshly nature, is the first step. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one who sees it that way. But hey, that's their choice. Oh, with this and that, errands, tasks your rough hands are better suited for than mine. But first, we need to find my assistant, Pathira. She's gone missing. Well, I suppose she took a flying unicorn to old Aranath. I don't know, sod it, else I wouldn't ask you for your help, would I? For his completion, Horst is asking something important. Some kind of steering unit, you might call it. Pathira and I have done research and found out that Dalmarak and his cohorts in Thalgard worked on a machine there that might employ a similar mechanism. Even though I had strongly spoken out in favor of an armed escort to send with her, Pathira had insisted on going alone. And surprise, I haven't heard from her since. Something that makes it the ideal place to go if you're suicidal and you're looking for a quick way out. You're an outlander, aren't you? How can I explain that without going beyond the scope? Dalmarak. Does the name ring a bell? He was an arcanist who lived about 2,000 years ago. Back then, the Order planned to build a second great city here in Enderal, situated in a region we now call Goldenforst. But, as it turned out, the place was everything but a good choice for a settlement. No crops would grow there, and the water made the settlers sick. So 3 years after the founding of the first settlement, Malif, the Order forced the settlers to abandon the mission and return to Ark. But, as things are with vain personalities, Dalmarak, who had been in charge of the mission, didn't like that idea at all. Malaf had been his dream, and so he wanted to hold on to it no matter what the price. One of his ways to do so was a device he called the Sun Wheel, an old Pyrean construction which was meant to make the barren lands fertile again. You can figure out the rest. One night there was a bright flash of light, and since then Thalgard has been contaminated. Apart from a few animals and the Sunborn, savages whose brains have been rotted by the green fog there, it's deserted. In the first few centuries to follow, the fog spread as far as Goldenforst, but by now it's receded from there. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But as I said, she insisted. You know, she's of the lone wolfish type, if you get what I mean. Here, this is the place where Pathira said she would set up her camp. From here, she planned to go explore the nearby ruins. And please don't die, else I have no idea how to get Horst up and running.
So many strange faces.
Hello.
Certainly. Just take your time. Take care.
You're a foreigner, aren't you? Couldn't have picked a better time to come to Enderal.
Dark as the sun, light as the night.
Huh? Can I help you?
Just have to live with it.
Walk blessed. How about pirates? What is there to tell? They're beautiful animals, majestic and wild, and dangerous if you're unlucky enough to run into an untamed one. Sure, where to?
getting disarmed.
Hey, you there. You gotta help me. Get me out of here. Oh, we don't have time for talking. Find the key and get me out of here. Whew, you sure showed those bastards who's boss. Good work. Who sent you? I can hardly imagine you came here by chance. Oh, well, what didn't happen? If Dal Terowin sent you, I take it you know why I'm here. So here's the short version. I managed to find the steering unit for that machine, but when I got back, I got ambushed by these arseholes, highwaymen. They must have known I was working for Terowin, and that he'd pay quite a ransom for me. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have slit my throat right open. Huh, pity. They didn't count on you coming. No, of course not. They took it with them. My money would be in their hideout, Fortress Sourcewatch, not far from here. You sure look like you can handle yourself in a fight. So, what do you think about go? I'd help you, but those bastards got me good before they locked me in that cage. I need to see an apothecary as soon as possible. Good. Thanks again for helping. I appreciate it. Whew, you sure showed those bastards who's boss. Good work. Who sent you? I can hardly imagine you came here by chance.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. A miracle has happened, a miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory.
Well, spices.
If it's cloud.
Midnight. Between cobblestone and excretion.
An obvious, Maestro?
Well, girl, it's not as if I said we'd need an from the beginning. You really were lucky. I hope you know that.
Thanks for reminding me. Now look at that, talking of the Black Guardian.
There you are! Good to see you back in one piece. Pathira told me everything. Had I known you'd be up against an entire gang of highwaymen, I would have sent reinforcements. But it seems you really do know how to handle yourself in a fight. Did you find the steering unit? Splendid, that's it! Good work, here's your pay. And since you're here already, there is something else you might assist us with, and it will be just as lucrative. Energy. Horst's frame might be complete, but he still lacks a source of energy. One that doesn't exhaust itself. Similar to Pyrean crystals, only much more resourceful. Evidently, the only ones capable of creating something as genial are starling tinkerers. The only problem is that the plans for such an energy core have been lost for centuries now, as have its prototypes. However, Agnod might still have one.
Just cut to the chase, will you, Master? Agnog is an old starship that was constructed centuries ago in Anku, the great Starling city on Nerim. The spearhead of Starling craft built to reclaim the forgotten homeland, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. It crashed on the first test flight.
In which it got from Nerim to as far as Enderal within a day's travel. A little more respect, please, Pathira. Anyway, fact is, until now, everybody believed the ship had crashed right into the Red Sea, a few miles before the Sun Coast. It didn't. It lies buried in the Enderalian Frostcliff Glacier.
I have already scouted the perimeter. It is completely enclosed with ice. But with an aptitude, one can find a way in. The energy core we need is, where else could it be? In the heart of the ship, the generator room. And this is where you come in. I can get inside by myself, but I bet my left hand that the Tinkerers have come up with a whole arsenal of nasty defense mechanisms to process any intruders into dust, bones, or puddles of flesh. I will go on ahead and try to deactivate as many traps as possible, but I might still need your help getting to the core. You have a map, don't you? Here, this is where you should find the ship.
And as I said, find us the core and your payment will be baronial. Best you get going as soon as possible. In the meantime, I will take a look at the steering unit.
I'll see you in Agnod. As I said, I'll try to deactivate as many defense mechanisms as possible. But still, you should prepare for resistance.
Yes? What are you doing here?
Yes?
Some people just don't know their place.